Uh, right. So cultivate purity and goodness. So let's go and do the initial verse. With life of abundance, we must cherish our blessings. I think, as you all know, very often, as you can see all the time, and Sister Irene just mentioned, but problem is, I think when life is at abundance, they want more. So, and not very often that people will be awakened to cherish the blessings. So we make blessings and share with others, because when that blessings get awakened and understand what those abundance is, we share with others and then we earn respect. So we kindle the lamp of wisdom to illuminate the body. So this lamp of wisdom is the wisdom within ourselves. True and wondrous Dharma is incomparable, and that is the wondrous Dharma that Master has been speaking about, and there's nothing beyond that wondrous Dharma. So in the explanation, if we are content with our lives, then we're living great light, great abundance. So abundance doesn't necessarily mean in absolute terms, in terms of possession or wealth that one has. So one is wealthy when contented. One is poor when not contented, and that is the meaning of this. And then we no longer be for longing of worldly pursuits, because otherwise, even with a lot, one is still have not enough and still remain poor and once more. So we abundance and contentment, we feel like we have enough to give to others, and this is what Master is trying to say, that we have enough, therefore we share with others, because we cannot, at the end of life, we cannot take them the wealth with us. So this is also an interesting point that Master went on to say. We must be careful to choose where we live. Obviously, we cannot choose where we are born, but the fact that we cannot choose where we are born, then we need to understand where we are born. And you know, this, if you understand this deeply, you will then realize that there is unfoldment of karma. So if there is an unfoldment of karma, then you learn how to live that karma or life becomings within the country, within the community, with the family, and so on. So therefore, we should be blessed that that I've certainly, for on my part, and this is my understanding, I've spoken to some Dharma masters who travel to Malaysia, and sometimes I ask them this question as to why they come to Malaysia, and I got some very inspiring answers from them. As I say, why in Malaysia, and so just take it from me that it's a blessing to be born in this country, despite whatever is happening. But if you understand the Dharma and apply to the wisdom as to what is happening today, you will realize that the point I've been trying to explain to you all, that life becomings, there are three karmas that one should learn. One is karmic lesson, repaying karmic debts, and fulfilling a karmic responsibility, and that's the reason why we are here. But I think the choice of living in the community, obviously that choice is within you, because it's not a birthplace. So therefore, even for us in a spiritual cultivation, that you have chosen to be in Tzu Chi, obviously then you have the community or the spiritual family, as what Sister Suisan so passionately share about Brother Murugun. So kindle the lamp of wisdom. The lamp of wisdom to eliminate the body, and the body is obviously the body mind within us, and the Buddha nature, and that's what we need to, how to kindle the lamp of wisdom. And problem is that we are being obscured by all the dust of afflictions that have been accumulated through many lifetimes. And therefore, if then understand that the accumulation of the body of the dust of affliction over many lifetimes, so therefore, why should we then be running away from the conditions sometimes that we live in? So therefore, we dare to face our life comings, accept the life becomings, and we purify that. So, so it's like a light inside us. So we wipe that out, clean from the dust, and hopefully it will shine through. So we use our wisdom and our hearts to observe the world. Not only that we observe the world, we observe the country that we live in. And one lamp can obviously illuminate many others. So when we kindle this flame within our hearts, we will automatically be able to see the road, and it's the path before us. And obviously, not only that we illuminate the path when we're walking, but we also try to brighten up the path that others are walking. So we must aspire to pave the smooth road that we are walking, and that can only see with, it's just like driving in the night. When you're driving in the night, unless the lamp is illuminated from by the car, I mean, there's no street lamps, there's no street lamps around. Then you got to rely on your internal light, which is your headlights. So you got to turn on your headlights and walk and drive through the dark. So therefore, this means that we must learn to be a good person, because that light can only come in the same way that the so-called good person, the virtues inside you and the wisdom inside you, it's the energy, which is the battery in the car. So we need to uphold the 5 precepts, which is the human vehicle, and the 10 good deeds, which is the heavenly vehicle, and listen to the Dharma of the soul. We are then prevented taking rebirth in the 3 evil realms, and not only that, we progress beyond the heavens. So we must constantly orient our minds towards the right path. Once the desire arises, our afflictions will multiply, and this is the part that about habitual tendencies that we know that when it arises, we can douse by controlling our mind and our desire. So then we do so by practicing the 6 parameters. So in generosity, for example, generosity about giving. So when we give, what are we giving away? We are giving away our attachments. So when we do that often in life, you will automatically, you will begin to realize the non-self. So the Sutra verse and Master's explanation on top of each canopy was erected, which was decorated with various precious jewels, crisscrossed with jewel ropes, and so on. So the canopy refers to the 4 infinite minds, with loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. So in loving kindness, compassion, we love everyone we see. And I don't think I want to run through this thing in detail, because you all understand so well what loving kindness, compassion, and you've been moving in activities in Tzu Chi, so you clearly understand all these things. But more importantly, is the one that is sometimes very hard to practice. Joy is not about you having the Dharma joy, you're happy and things like that. Joy is about joy that you feel that others are happy. So the word that I often use is sympathetic joy. Okay, so it's just like seeing the joy that your only child has achieved a certain goal, and that you're happy for that child, and that's what that joy is. And equanimity, it's not easy for one that we live as a householder, because as a householder we face a lot of worldly winds, gain and loss, happiness and sadness, praise and blame. We all like to be praised, we don't like to be blamed. And these are the things that you want to be remain equanimous. Walking this path, the higher you walk, the stronger are the worldly winds. So therefore, we must be very mindful of that. So in a continuation, crisscross with jewel ropes refer to analogy of the 4 great vows. So therefore, if you then go back to the earlier part that say the 4 infinite minds and the 4 great vows, then you then understand that Master had actually shared, and I think in chapter 21, I think, 21 or 22, that the thought of internal cultivation and external cultivation, which links on to today's teaching about using the 4 infinite minds and the 4 great vows, which I'll come to later. So then, therefore, the first vow of delivering countless sentient beings we want to deliver sentient beings. And that was the first vow. Eliminate endless afflictions or uproot all evil passion that one has. That's the second vow. So you understand what the third and the fourth vow is, right? So the third vow is entering all Dharma doors, and the fourth vow is to attain the supreme enlightenment. So this, I find this part interesting, and I bold it, non-arising patience. And you look, this only three very simple words. These three simple words has a very deep teaching within that, because when you cultivate the 6 parameters, the third parameter of patience, and so very often when we get impatient, we bring patience in, but not arising patience that you do not even need the arising of the patient. Okay, so this is really someone who has cultivated very deeply and had deep roots of the 6 parameters. Internal cultivation. So internal cultivation, and it says, the master said, in the world around us, or in our relationship, etc., we face something that's difficult to bear. So we need to be patient to endure that and all the challenges that we face. And this arises, for example, imbalance of the 4 elements. And when all this happens, there's a lack of harmony and also our interpersonal relationship. So therefore, we must cultivate non-arising patience. So that means you're totally unmoved. So that also refers to equanimity. So in practicing equanimity, nothing will then arouse you. So therefore, you don't even need that patience to deal with that. So our minds will not go through rising, ceasing, or increasing or decreasing. So therefore, this arising, changing or abiding, and ultimately ceasing of that, you don't even need to deal with that. So therefore, that is the calmness that one should be able to attain, and if we can understand that. So internally cultivating purifying practices, engaging in practice to purify our minds, putting an end to all evil brings merits. So the dissolution of the evil passions within us is actually in itself, it's cultivating the wisdom life, right? Because you need to remove all those things to be able to remove the dust of affliction in your mind. So when you do that, obviously your mind will be clear. Not only will it be calm, okay, calm, but mind is calm with virtue, but you become clearer in the realization of the teachings. So that is in itself living the wisdom life. So internally, we are cultivating our minds, that what Master is saying. So the internal cultivation, and some of you already heard the teachings by Master when they gave live on Sin Fa Xiang. So internal cultivation, we do so with the 4 bodhisattva vows. So on the external cultivation, it's about perfecting all good deeds. So this is the walking the path with virtues and about all the activities you are doing in Tzu Chi. So we are successfully in conducting ourselves properly. We will be successful in whatever we do and in harmony with the principles. So therefore, if you look through this about being in harmonious and all the virtues that we are cultivating, then it's all about changing our character. The character must be harmonious. So how do you have a character? Because we have been walking amongst the masses. So when you look at this thing, so this one, the whole cultivation is about bringing forth loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity in our external cultivation. So which is for infinite minds. So in the internal cultivation, we reinforce that with the 4 bodhisattva vows, and the external cultivation with the 4 infinite minds. So that's the reason why it's called crisscross. Now, for all embracing virtues, this is referring to the flower garlands, and my master is saying it's an analogy of the 4 embracing virtues. These 4 embracing virtues, you like the ways or the methods of a bodhisattva in practice, of being giving, or speech, or collaboration, and or benevolence. So in the charitable giving, so the point also ties up to the first of the 6 parameters. So if they need wealth, we give them wealth. If they want the Dharma, give them the Dharma. So this will give rise to the path to pure love. This pure love is what they call developing. Like giving is a step of development towards the great loving heart. So about speech, this is about the speech. This is about speaking kind and confident speech, and obviously we do so depending on the capabilities of sentient beings. So we got to be very mindful when we speak. The virtue of collaborative work. This is about the selfless work that one does. So this is done so with the Dharma eyes. We observe sentient beings' capabilities. So if they are weak in certain ways they are doing, we're going to help them. So and according to what they like and that's what they like, so you put in what their interests ahead of yours, and so you manifest an operative form to lead them to do beneficial work, operative form to lead them. So eventually, this is where when you do that more and more, you'll be learning skillful means to understand others. So then the 4th one is a beneficial conduct. This is about the conduct of benevolence. So we could practice in body, speech, and mind. We benefit sentient beings and help them to give rise to the path of great love. All these 4 of the 4 all-embracing virtues will lead you to the great loving heart. So the lessons learned with internal cultivation and external practice, we will not lose our merits and virtues. And this is about, if you remember, I think it was yesterday about the railings, right? So the railings that are the great cart. So the railings will prevent you from losing. So, but we also do so with the internal and external cultivation. So these are 4 all-embracing virtues that we must actually apply these methods when we walk among the masses. And we will not enticed by external condition. We will not be enticed by external condition. And this is the part that we can only do so with a non-arising patience. Because once we lose, even though you can withstand what being thrown at you, if you cannot withstand it, you'll lose the patience. So the non-arising patience is the very steadfast practice in the state of samadhi. And this is where you're no longer moved by it. So we must eliminate the evils of the threefold karma to give right precept samadhi and wisdom. Precept samadhi and wisdom I shared earlier, I think 1-2 weeks ago. This is about the Master explained called the three wisdom. Now the threefold karma, I'm not very clear what it is. I know that one of the sister explained that it's body, speech, and mind, but the threefold karma can also refer to the past, the present, and the future. Okay, the past karma, the present karma, and the future unfoldment and the karma. So all these things, whatever it is, we need to look at the how we can actually face our own karma awakening in this lifetime. Okay, that's relating to the past, and in the present time, we do not create new karma so that the future karma will be good. So contemplation. When you are in the Dharma, you walk the path with elevated consciousness. Because what is this elevated consciousness? The elevated consciousness is moving away from the mundane consciousness, which is the worldly consciousness, towards the higher consciousness, which is the spiritual consciousness, with the purity of thoughts, words, and deeds. In the depth of each moment of purity to the next, filled with awareness, but steadily rooted in the Dharma. So when you say in the depth of its moment of purity, and this is the part about the non-arising patience. Okay, so because when that is pure, you do not see what is negative. If you do not see what is negative, why do you then need patience? Okay, and then with this life becoming, it's just a passing moment of learning. So on relationship, impurity, think wisely with the nobility of the mind. What is the nobility of the mind? A noble mind is one who always put the interests of others at heart. So in relationship, same thing. So it's not about what you like, not just how you feel, it's about how others feel. So speak kindly from the compassion of the heart. So which is one of the methods, right? Having that kind and comforting speech, and act charitably with a selfless nature. And this is what the Bodhisattva path is about. Okay, thank you.
Gan En, Brother Chen, for giving us a wonderful summary, very insightful. Let us now switch on our video for Sister YY to take our group photo. And at the same time, may we invite Sister Tzu Chi. Before Sister Tzu Chi share, tomorrow we don't have, it's a lunar day, right? We do not have Xin Fa Xiang, but the English Dharma Lotus review will be still on at 7. So the platform for our post Xin Fa Xiang will be on Sunday. Let us all continue to be to be the never sliding bodhisattva, continue to be, and we pass it to Sister Tzu Chi for your insights for this morning. Thank you, Gan En.
Gan En, Sister Effie, Gan En brothers and sisters, for all the very, very wonderful and great sharing. Today, just like all the brothers asked, I think many mentioned 真的是 a lot of 宝 today. I think just today, without listening to others, just today episode, if we can comprehend and can practice, maybe I don't say 100%, even 20% of it, I think we are almost there at certain ground of Bodhisattva already. 真的是 then Brother Pen Yeh mentioned the word he repeated many times, truly meant it, and I could feel the deep sincerity in his words. We are very grateful. I'm very grateful to Master because of Master's, all her Master's teaching us internal and external practices. 内修 成真心是外修慈悲心是 all these initially maybe a bit faking, but along the way as we are doing, we started to have the true meaning behind it. Indeed, those many of us, I'm sure many brothers and sisters here are the truly role model. They are practicing it, and we could see the expansive, broad mind in them. That's why it's like this light, not only lighted their own mind, but also people around them, and the gushing water. Because slowly, we are, of course, we are still the lay beings affected by the worldly winds. But with all these, to me, I like to look at it as like weapons. I like to watch the Kung Fu stories. The weapons given by Master, we are protected. Not only we are protected, we are protecting ourselves, we could also safeguard others. Master is giving us daily the ropes, the flower garlands, the scarlet pillow, these canopies, and for us to really apply it. Master, if we take on Master's homework, you see from ourselves, our next to us, her chi, the Sieri, bigger who I, her chi, her sick, and now Master is really talking about Africa. You see how expensive the mind is. With this homework, that if we undertake it, our mind will be so expensive. Actually, there's no worry about us losing anything. In fact, it will be like the water gushing out, spring water. We will have more and more, and the light, as we give more, we will have more. This is like, I'm sure everyone of us, we understand also, like exercise, if the gymnast or whoever, the sprinter, they have to go that extra mile, they have to keep practicing more. Same like us as spiritual cultivator, if we keep practicing it, one day the mind will be as expensive as the universe, and these are non-arising patient. Yeah, I agree about it. This word sounds simple, but 真的是很深很深哦。For myself, I'm looking at it as the compassion. As we hear sometimes the harsh words from others, we feel for others. Yeah, Brother should say correctly. Put others in front of us, feeling for others. If we have this using the nobility, for me, it's the compassion, great compassion, heart soothing, then it will be easier to go through all this. So, 祝福大家, may each of us be able to walk on this path using Master's teaching of the internal cultivation, purify our practices, eliminate all those evils. It will bring in merits, external as well. It will bring merits. With that, all of us will be able to attain more and more virtue, and be able to help more and more, and tread on this path together, more steadfast. Gan En. Back to Sister Effie. Gan En.
Gan En, Sister Tzu Chi.